Hello YouTube world, Johnny Moe coming to you with a very special video. I want to talk to you a little bit more about scheduling. I think it's educational for me. It's educational for you. I like to have everything tightly scheduled. So I'm going to review my schedule and I want you to put how you run things. I'll throw some dollar amounts in there too, just to kind of make it a little bit more realistic what I want to accomplish. First of all, I still want to cut $2,000 a week. That's cutting only. I want to be able to I want to run $2,000 through the decks of my mowers every week, even as a solo guy. Some might say, you can't do it. I've been doing it all for the last 2 months, so I know it can be done. It's a little bit different for me because you have to understand that just 2 years ago I was running 2 crews. So as I've downsized because of lack of help, I've been able to keep the accounts that really make me money and then get rid of some of the accounts that weren't so good, and I was still able to keep it around $2,000 a month. Now the extras like pruning and everything else, that's all extra on top of that. My minimum for running through the decks are $2,000. So I like to run about $2,000. So that gives you a base where I'm at, what I'm thinking about. So we get about 30 to 33 weeks of cutting here. So there's about $66,000 in grass cutting as long as there's no drought. Give or take. Like last week, I did over 2,000. The week before that was like 1970. So you give or take a few. Like I'm cutting a guy's house right now who's out of town, and it's $130 a cut. He'll be gone for 3 weeks, and so we're adding quite a bit extra. Usually it's around 2,000. Every other week I do what's called like these knockdowns. These fields, like every third week there's a couple fields that I just go in, knock it down, whatever it is, you know what I mean? They don't care what it looks like. I only have one bi-weekly, and it's a commercial account, and the rule is it doesn't matter what it looks like. I'm not going to double cut you. It's out in the middle of nowhere. And honestly, if you're new in business, then obviously you want to take on some bi-weeklies. I did when I first started. I can tell you they're harder work, they're less money, and I'm not a real big, I don't have any bi-weekly accounts except for this one commercial account. And literally, for some reason, grass doesn't really grow there very well. I don't know why. Maybe it's the shade. It's not treated or anything. It's just a weed patch. And, it doesn't matter. Whatever it looks like. I cut 2, it's a gas station, and I cut 2 of their properties. One is on a major roadway where everyone sees it, so they let me cut that every week. They don't even care what that looks like. But the one that's out in Timbuktu land, out there on the Ohio border, they don't care what it looks like. So I just go and knock it down every 2 weeks, weed eat it, and go. And so I'm not a real big bi-weekly guy. When you're first starting, go ahead, but you want to get rid of bi-weeklies as quickly as you can, especially a year like this year where it rains so much. The week that those bi-weeklies come in on, ooh, they get so high, and you're double bagging and all that. They're just not worth it for me. So I just eliminated that from my mowing as soon as I could. If someone calls and say it's a bi-weekly, you're not even part of it. Now, some of these fields that I've been knocking down, that's extra on top of the 2,002. So every week I'm knocking down something a little bit extra. So there's like 20, 30. Now last week was 2250 or 2130. Something silly like that. So that's about where I want to keep my range. I'm talking to you about real numbers. I'm not talking about fake numbers. I'm not telling you, these are real numbers. And then obviously if you do some pruning, edging, and mulching, you could pop it up to 3,000, 3,300 or 2,500 or whatever. Those are numbers in a consistent area I'd like to be around. So basically, how do you make 6 figures when you're a solo guy? It's very difficult, but obviously I'm going to do it this year pretty easily. Now, I did have help for 1 month. I did have my worker who did help me out in May for 1 month. So obviously, that month was a pretty big month because we got a lot of work done. Now, if it's just me, single solo, it's a little bit more difficult, but I want to show you how you can make 6 figures being a solo guy. Now, for us, we have snow, so it's a little bit easier now. Because for 19 years, I've been able to build up a clientele. It's pretty easy for me to do, $30,000 to $50,000 during the winter, depending on the snowfall amount. It's anywhere you can go. The low end about 18, the high end about 50. So $18,000 to $50,000 a year in snow removal is pretty consistent. We live in a snow belt, so we do have an advantage there. So let's just say that I did $38,000 in snow removal last year. Let's just say that I did. Well, you add that to the 66 that you'll probably do in mowing. Right there, you're at $90-some thousand. Okay, you're at over $100,000 with those two numbers. Now let's put into play all the pruning and the mulching you do. Let's say that you do between $20,000 in pruning and mulching. Let's say it's from $13,000 to $20,000. Well, there's $120,000. We'll even say it's going to be $10,000 this year, which I'm already past it. I'm already way past that. So let's just say it's $10,000. Now you're at $110,000. So you went from about $60,000 to $66,000 in mowing. Let's say you did 30. Let's even say you did 30,000 in, which I had a really good snow removal year. I had 2 months where it's just killer. So you're not always going to get these kind of snow months, and you're not always going to get those kind of numbers. But let's say I had a okay $20,000 snow removal year. And now I'm a small guy, single solo guy. There's no one who comes to shovel sidewalks. I do everything. So now you're at, let's say, 86,000. Now you're at 15,000 with your landscaping. So 86 to 15, you're at 101. Let's do some fertilizing. Let's say you have $10,000 in fertilizers, $110,000. That's how you can do it. Make over 100,000. They say, oh, it's impossible. You can't. It's not impossible. Now, granted, I have a large enough winter work that if it snows 2-3 times, 4 or 5 times in a month for 3 months, I'm going to make some money. So that's how I do it. And here's how my scheduling is. You let me know what you think of my scheduling. So actually, I'm still doing really well, even as a solo. As you can see, those numbers are real numbers. Let's go back to the scheduling. This is my scheduling. So on Monday it's a full day of mowing. I've been going out at 9. I've been going out at 8, trying to prune. Now, I just got this part of the schedule about 2 weeks ago. It was raining so much, so I couldn't figure out how to fit in everything. And as you know, guys, I'm not a big workaholic where I want to work from Monday to Sunday, sun up to sundown. I'm just not that kind of worker. I think there's more important things in life to do. So let me know what you think of this part of the schedule. Add to it. Give me some advice in the comment sections below. Let me know what you think, how I'm doing. Because I haven't been solo in a long time. Honestly, guys, I mean, really, for 5 years, we were humping. We had crews and everything. So I'm looking for advice. I'm looking for, what do you think of this idea? A little rough. I still got a little bit too much work. I'm a little bit overwhelmed at times because of the amount of work I have, and I need to adjust that. And because my income is so high as being a solo, I have room to play. I have room to play and drop. So I'm kind of just like looking at everything to see how it goes. My wife works. We had so many good years here that we're very blessed and fortunate to have the income that we do. My wife's a teacher, so we're not hurting for money. We live well beneath our means, and so we're doing good in those aspects. But I'd like to be a little bit more efficient, a little bit more, a little bit more time off. Now, I did work 21 days straight. That means I worked 3 Sundays. I've never worked that many Sundays. So what I was doing was going to church, coming home, and then going out and maybe starting a pruning, doing about 2 hours worth of work, coming home and taking the rest of the day off, which isn't bad, but I don't like to even do that. Now, it's today's Sunday. I took this day off. I just needed a break. I worked till about 4 o'clock yesterday. So 8:30 to 4. I needed one more yard to finish the job, and it was the landscape supply closed at 2 because it's after 4th of July. So I got to go back Monday morning. But let me get my schedule in, then you can comment. Hope you enjoy this video. Enjoy talking to you guys. Great group of guys we have on here. A little quick shout out, like Dan Trimmers. I like Trimmers videos. I watch almost every one of them. Really enjoy it. Enjoy watching all you guys out there. You guys are really pumping it in. So let's go from here. Give a little shout out to Dan Trimmers since he gave me a shout out. If you don't know who Dan is, I'm sure you do. Go check him out. Dan Trimmers. Excellent videos. Love his old man advice. Great advice. So Monday's a little bit longer. I do usually throw in an every other week knockdown field on Monday too. So I like to get out there by 8, out in the garage by 7, checking the blades, everything's done up by 8, out there pruning or finishing a mulch job from 8 to about 9:15, and then from 9:15 I grab the equipment and I go out and I start about 9:45. Now this part of the schedule, I'm telling you now, I just figured this out about a week ago. Now that it's not raining so much, I can kind of see how long it's going to take me to mow grass. And then 9:45 to about 5:30, 5:45, 6 o'clock. I don't want to work after 6 o'clock. I don't know why. I just don't want to. It's just mine. It's my business. I can do what I want. I don't like working after 6 o'clock. If I have to, I will. If it's raining and I have to go out and finish the day, I will. Tuesdays is a lighter day of mowing. I think there's about 9 of them in there. I don't know. I don't have the schedule in front of me. There's about 8 or 9. And what I like to do is same thing. You know, go out in the morning, 8 o'clock, work till about 9:15, start a pruning, you know, get a pruning wrapped up, or, you know, get a mulch job, you know, ready to go, and then go back to mowing, finish my day. On Tuesdays I have basketball camp. I'm running camp in the summer for girls basketball or local high school, so I want to be up there at 6:30, so I need to get home a little bit earlier, and that's cool. Lighter day. Wednesday's a real light day of mowing. I think there's only 6. There's one big one in there. There's 2 big ones in there. So I usually like the landscape between 8 and 12 o'clock. I like to be on my first lawn, you know, generally at 12:15. I can usually be home around 6 o'clock on that day too. And then even 4:30 I've been home before. So that's Wednesday. Friday, same thing, 8 o'clock to 9:45. I'm usually getting home about 5:30 on Thursday, you know, 5:45, 5:30, 5:45, as long as it's not raining. Saturday's the same thing. Monday, Thursday, Saturday are fuller days of mowing. Friday is, I got one development where I have 7 in one development, so you can just hammer it out 2.5, 3 hours, you're out of there. And then, so same thing, you know. And then Saturdays is just onslaught of, if we didn't get all the mowing done, something happened, then we finish that, onslaught landscaping, you know, as much as we can. I'll probably limit the landscaping that I take on during the future. I'm not going to do any more 20 yards, 30-yard mulch jobs. Those are all done. I don't want to ever do those again. I'm doing a 6-yard mulch job. I started it yesterday, probably did about 5 of it yesterday, and then we'll do the other yard tomorrow morning as it rolls around. And so let me know what you think of that schedule. I want to limit that down also, guys. I'd like to take Saturdays off completely most of the year. You know, if I have to do a fertilizing in there, I'm starting round 3. So what I do is so on a day that I was cutting that grass, I would cut the grass and I'd fertilize that day. If the fertilizing's that day, I would start at 8 o'clock. I would go to the lawn that I'm fertilizing, and I would struggle through the wetness of it, and then I would fertilize it, take care of everything there, and start my day from there. So that's how I'm kind of doing it. I think I'm offering a little bit too many services for being solo. So I do get a little overwhelmed looking at the fertilizing list, looking at the trimming list, the mulch list. Because right now I have, as it stands right now, I have 20 more jobs to do. 3 more mulchings, and the rest are all prunings, and some are just second prunings. It's going back through. So I have 20 jobs left. I really need to get those knocked out, and I'm not going to take any more off the mowing side. I've already taken well over $1,300 off that side. I'm not going to drop it below $2,000. If unless someone makes me, and then I'll just fill in the gap. If I like cutting about that amount, I just don't want to go below $1,800 in mowing. I just don't. That's just my thing. I like cutting around that $2,000 mark. It's $8,000 a month times 7 months. It's 56. Plus you got leaves and stuff. So you add another 10 in there. It's 66,000. So I want to keep that right where it's at. Let me know what you guys think of this in scheduling. Let me know how you think, because I haven't really worked it out yet. Because what happened was I went from 2 crews down to me and another guy, and it took me a while to work with just that guy to figure out the schedule, and we got it down, and now I'm solo just trying to figure it out. Let me know if you think that how you like that schedule. Maybe we can rearrange something. You can give me some advice. Appreciate it. Talk to you guys soon.